Did you know the average American home has over 300,000 items? That's right, 300,000. Most of us don't even realize how much stuff we've accumulated until we start decluttering. And the truth is, all that stuff isn't just taking up space, it's also draining our wallets. In fact, studies show that Americans spend over $1 trillion a year on things they don't need. But what if there was a way to break free from this cycle of clutter and unnecessary spending? What if you could avoid buying certain things and still live a comfortable, clutter-free life? That's exactly what we're going to explore today. In this video, I'll share 6 things I don't buy to avoid clutter in my home, and how these simple choices have saved me money, time, and space. From avoiding impulse buys to ditching trendy gadgets, you'll learn practical tips you can start using today. Ready to discover how minimalism can change your life? Keep watching. Chapter 1. The Anti-Acquisition Mindset. Why I don't buy sale items. Have you ever bought something just because it was on sale? I know I have. But here's the thing. Those sale items can often become clutter. The excitement of saving money can cloud our judgment and make us buy things we don't actually need. According to a 2021 study by the University of Pennsylvania, 54% of people regret buying things on sale because they weren't real necessities. That's a huge number. So, I've made it a rule to never buy something just because it's cheap. This doesn't mean I avoid sales altogether. I still shop for discounts, but only for things I actually need. If I don't need it, the sale price doesn't matter. Instead, I focus on intentional purchases. The key is buying with purpose, not impulse. This simple strategy helps me keep my home free of unwanted clutter. It's also about mindset. Instead of seeing a discount as a win, I see it as a potential loss of space and money if the item ends up unused. Did you know that the average person has over 300,000 items in their home? Most of those were probably purchased during sales or discounts. When you break free from this cycle, you save both money and space. Here's a thought. Consider the long-term cost of that bargain. If you don't need it now, it's only a deal for the store, not you. I recommend asking yourself, would I buy this if it were full price? If the answer is no, walk away. No sale is worth the clutter. Chapter 2. Goodbye, fads. How I avoid buying trendy gadgets. In today's world, new gadgets are popping up every day. But do you really need them? Fads come and go, and often, the gadgets that seem so exciting at first end up gathering dust on a shelf. A 2020 survey found that 35% of people who bought a popular tech gadget later regretted it because it wasn't as useful as they thought. That's a lot of wasted space and money. I've learned to avoid the latest trends in tech. Don't get me wrong, innovation is great, but new gadgets often bring more clutter than value. For example, a few years ago, I considered buying a smart fridge, but I realized it wouldn't improve my life in a meaningful way. So, I stuck with my basic fridge, and it works just fine. Tech companies spend millions marketing their products as must-haves. But let's be honest, how many gadgets do you really need? A smartphone, a laptop, and maybe a tablet are all most of us need to stay connected and productive. Anything beyond that just adds unnecessary bulk to your space. Instead of chasing every new release, I focus on getting quality items that meet my real needs. I don't buy the newest phone every year or upgrade my electronics unless they truly break down. By doing this, I avoid accumulating excess, and my home stays neat and uncluttered. Interestingly, studies show that the average American household has 25 electronic devices. That's a lot of gadgets to manage. By choosing quality over quantity, you can save both money and space. Stick with what works, and say goodbye to the clutter of trendy tech. If you're finding these tips helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more minimalist ideas that will transform your life. Chapter 3. The Paperless Revolution. Why I don't buy paper products. It's easy to forget how much space paper products take up until you start getting rid of them. I used to buy newspapers, magazines, and books all the time, thinking it was normal. But when I added up how much space these paper items took, I realized it was a huge problem. A 2020 report found that the average American home has over 2,000 pounds of paper clutter, everything from bills to old magazines. So, I decided to go paperless. I canceled my subscriptions to magazines, stopped buying books I'd never read, and switched to digital alternatives. Now, my home feels lighter, and I've freed up so much space. Plus, going paperless has helped me stay organized, as everything is neatly stored in digital files. But it's not just about saving space, it's also about reducing waste. According to the EPA, paper products account for around 25% of waste in landfills. By making the switch to digital, I'm contributing to a more sustainable lifestyle. It's amazing how small changes can make a big difference. Here's a simple strategy. Start with your bills. Set up paperless billing for utilities, subscriptions, and even your credit card statements. You'll not only reduce clutter but also stay more organized. Plus, with the rise of e-books, you can read all your favorite books on your tablet or phone, cutting down on the piles of paperbacks and hardcovers. Going paperless doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing approach. Start slow, and before you know it, you'll wonder how you ever lived with all that paper clutter. It's one of the simplest and most effective ways to achieve minimalism and save money at the same time. If you're loving these tips, make sure to subscribe for more minimalist hacks to help you save time, space, and money. Chapter 4. No more kitchen gadgets. Why I keep my cooking simple. Have you ever been tempted to buy a new kitchen gadget because it promised to make cooking easier or more fun? I used to fall for that, but over time, I've learned that simplicity in the kitchen not only saves money but also reduces clutter. Take a look around your kitchen. How many gadgets do you have that you've only used once or twice? According to a 2019 survey, 42% of people admitted they never used half of the kitchen gadgets they purchased. That's a lot of wasted money and space. Instead of adding to my collection, I've kept only a few essential tools: a good knife, a cutting board, a pot, and a pan. These are the basics that work for almost any recipe. By sticking to these, I avoid the impulse to buy the next must-have appliance that promises to make cooking easier. Plus, it keeps my kitchen clean and functional. Cooking doesn't need to be complicated to be delicious. In fact, some of the best meals come from the simplest methods. Think about the time and money you save by using fewer appliances. You don't need a bread maker, a pasta maker, or a milk frother to prepare healthy, tasty meals. The less cluttered your kitchen, the more enjoyable and efficient cooking becomes. The key to this minimalist approach is to evaluate each purchase carefully. Before buying a gadget, I ask myself, is this truly necessary for the way I cook? If the answer is no, I skip it. By focusing on versatility and quality, my kitchen remains functional and free from the clutter that comes with trendy tools. Plus, less clutter in the kitchen means more space to work. Studies show that kitchens with fewer items tend to be more organized and efficient. A clean counter encourages me to cook more often, which is one of the main benefits of keeping things simple. So, next time you see a new kitchen gadget, think twice. Is it worth the space and the money? Chapter 5. Stop stockpiling. The dangers of buying in bulk. Buying in bulk might seem like a smart financial move, but it can quickly lead to unnecessary clutter in your home. We've all been there, buying giant packages of toilet paper or canned goods thinking we're saving money. But studies show that bulk buying often leads to more waste. A 2018 study by the Consumer Reports found that nearly 70% of people end up with expired items after buying in bulk. For example, I used to buy food in huge quantities to save a few bucks. But eventually, I found myself throwing out expired items that I hadn't used. Not only did I waste money, but my pantry also became overcrowded. It was a classic case of, more is not always better. I've learned to avoid stockpiling, especially when it comes to perishables. Buying in smaller, more frequent quantities means I only buy what I actually need and will use within a short period. This way, there's no waste, and my home stays organized. If you're concerned about saving money, try looking for discounts on smaller quantities or buying from bulk bins when needed. I also recommend checking your pantry before you go shopping to avoid overbuying. Having a plan and sticking to it will help you avoid the temptation of purchasing excess. The key is to be realistic about how much you can use in a given time. For example, buying 10 jars of peanut butter might seem like a great deal, but if you're not likely to eat them before they expire, it's not such a bargain. By cutting back on bulk buys, you'll free up space, save money, and stay more organized. Chapter 6. The beauty of nothing new, how I avoid fast fashion and disposable trends. Fast fashion has a huge appeal, it's affordable, trendy, and everywhere. But when I stopped buying into this cycle, I realized how much money and space I was wasting. The average person buys 60 new items of clothing every year, according to a 2022 report by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. Most of these clothes are worn only a few times before being tossed aside, contributing to both clutter and environmental waste. Instead of constantly buying new clothes, I've turned to a more sustainable approach, quality over quantity. I focus on buying timeless pieces that can be worn year after year. This strategy not only reduces clutter in my closet but also keeps my spending in check. By investing in high-quality items, I avoid the need for constant replacements. Second-hand clothing is another great option. Thrift stores, consignment shops, and online resale platforms have become my go-to for adding pieces to my wardrobe. This is not only more affordable but also eco-friendly. In fact, buying second-hand reduces your carbon footprint by up to 82%, according to a study by the Global Fashion Agenda. Here's the secret: by adopting a nothing new approach, I don't feel deprived. Instead, I embrace a minimalist wardrobe where every piece has value. Plus, this strategy saves me time and money. No more endless shopping trips or worrying about keeping up with the latest trends. You don't need a closet full of clothes to look stylish. In fact, having fewer but better items makes it easier to mix and match, creating more outfits with less. And the best part? Your closet stays tidy, and you avoid the overwhelming clutter of fast fashion. By breaking free from the cycle of constant buying, you can focus on investing in pieces that will last, both in terms of style and quality. Thanks for watching. If you found these tips helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with more frugal living and minimalist tips that will help transform your home and lifestyle.